Football is truly back and in full swing.
That's why Sky Bet are giving you weekly free bets and boosts all season long.
Head over to Sky Bet now to check out Acca Freeze, Build a Bet and all of their latest offers.
18 plus, T's and C's apply, gambleaware.org.
Of course, we've got Karel in the house. The HMRC of Football podcast is here. It's obviously, by the way, it's been fantastic to see the growth, man.
Yeah,
it's been incredible what you're doing. You found a niche of your own. No one's doing it like you. I can imagine there's going to be a few more people popping up doing similar things in different sports at the moment. But no, it's been amazing to see the growth. How are you finding it all at the moment?
Do you know what? It's been an interesting time. Like I think the first few days, week or so was a little bit overwhelming. Like your phone's just blowing up of like videos that you've made. Probably you guys have been like used to it over the years, but it did take a minute of adjustment to it. And then now it's like, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the interaction. And because in my eyes, it's a good cause that I'm doing.
Was the first one Jay Bothroyd?
Yeah.
That was the first one you did.
The
That's
first
the
one
first one I saw. That's the one I messaged you about.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. Why did you do it?
Do you know what? I was doing a series about stats, how you could lie with stats. Then as I was scrolling through TikTok at night, I saw Jay Bothroyd talking about like one of the many clips that I came across at that point. Went on the page, saw more, and I was like, could I actually make a video about how people embellish or lie about events that happened? And after that one, it just snowballed. Because I think straight after that, I remembered Samuel Eto'o did it, but most people don't know that he does it because he does it in French.
He's great.
Yeah, and I
I
understand his interviews.
Great,
so I'm like, why are you lying, Samuel? So I went and Googled
what, you
it.
speak French?
Yeah, well, I understand it better than I speak it. So I can sit and watch like French movies,
There's that clip of, is it Chouamani as well, going, Samuel?
Oh, Samuel. That's insane that they could have won the World Cup in 2002. I'm thinking, wait, R9 scored like 9 goals in that tournament.
Bottom of your group, wild. It's been great to see. And obviously, because I'm glad you got Lee Sharp, because it wasn't that story. I love Lee Sharp, by the way. He's one of my heroes.
I know which one you're going to say.
But there's the story of Selhurst Park, Eric Cantona. He lies about that all the time. Like, he said something like, Brian Robson was with us. And it's like, hold on a minute. Brian Robson retired 2 years before. And it's kind of, they start adding characters into the dressing room and stuff. But it's because they do like after dinner speeches. So they have to kind of make these things interesting and entertaining. And they end up kind of telling lies sometimes. So what we're going to do, top 5 lies in football. Now, we might not have discovered some of them yet. But we're going to try and get a little bit of a top 5 if we can. And we want your top 5 that you may have put together. So
I think some of them that we've mentioned before, but I feel like for this platform, it's good to recap some of them and get some of your thoughts on them. So
should we go from 5 up?
Yeah, we can do. So I think at 5 I had, and this is the most recent one, so you might not have seen it yet, but it was Gary Taylor-Fletcher claiming that he ripped Vidic twice in the 10-11 season.
This was a tweet, wasn't it?
It was a tweet, so I couldn't roll the tapes on that one, but I got the tweet up and he said that he ripped Vidic for 2 games, 10-11 season. So you know what I did? There's a nice website, I'm sure if you go on my Twitter, you'll find the name of it, where you can watch full 90s. So I went and watched Blackpool versus Manchester United, both at Bloomfield Road and at Old Trafford. And my biggest takeaway was not that Gary Taylor-Fletcher tore Vidic apart, because you only went past him once, even though Vidic made a recovery tackle. It was that Charlie Adam was actually class.
Yeah.
And he ran the show in that away game. He was so good. But yeah, it's something that I think a lot of Gabriel Bonlo's done something similar. And I feel like Vidic has become the name to peddle, be like, he's not that good. I got the better of him. Because everyone knows that he was a little bit rash at times, a bit aggressive. They say, I got the better of him. Yes, Bonlo won a penalty against him in the League Cup final. 2010, 2009?
9, I think.
9. But yeah, it's just like a lot of people trying to.
Also, it's funny because obviously he's one of the top defenders in our Premier League, but he's not really on social media. So he's not going to be there saying, no, that didn't happen. He's not on
Why
podcasts.
would you respond though?
We've got loads of top centre backs.
He doesn't need to respond.
Yeah. Sometimes people do want to respond.
He's not going to call it out. I'm saying he's not around to call it out. He's living his life.
But that's the common theme that I've realised doing this is that a lot of people punch upwards. So it's easy to insert a massive figure into your story because that massive figure is likely not going to say, I wasn't there, or he won't remember it because, no disrespect, the person telling the story is insignificant to them. So
So he's probably like, who's Gary Taylor-Fletcher? Also, what I found funny about that was Gary Taylor-Fletcher used it to try and big up like Terry and Ferdinand, but he hadn't played.
He didn't play against either of them. Yeah, John Terry missed the first game against Blackpool. He played the second one, but Gary Taylor-Fletcher didn't come off the bench. And Rio was, I think he was injured. That season, so he didn't
Oh,
play
that's
either
so
game.
funny.
because Rio's back was going that year.
Mate, that's so funny. So Gary Taylor-Fletcher went, I used to rip up Nemanja Vidic, and he didn't. And he went, and what I learned from ripping up Nemanja Vidic was that, coming up against Terry was so much harder. I was like, you haven't played against him either.
Yeah, I was like, it's not coming
Did you
from
play
played
against
experience.
Paul Terry? Like, who did you play against?
His opinion of like Terry and Ferdinand's the same as mine. Like we've neither of us have played against them. Like, and that's no disrespect. It's just you weren't on the pitch. You only played one season in the Premier League.
Oh, mate,
Funny enough, he was in the Leicester squad that won the Premier League. No, it was when they came up to the Premier League.
In at number 4,
Samuel Eto'o claiming that he scored 3 separate hat tricks, and all 3 times it never happened. There's one story where he says under Leonardo at Inter Milan, he told him the airport closes at a certain time. In the first half, I'm going to score a hat trick, and you're going to let me go home, and you'll figure out the game for yourselves. He never scored a hat trick under Leonardo. I looked up Champions League, Serie A, Coppa Italia, mid-season friendlies, not a single hat trick. And even worse, there wasn't a single game he came off at half time.
Oh, mate,
So when he did score 1 or 2, he played 90 minutes. If
And this is
anyone,
all in French. He's saying
by the way,
Yeah.
this is a man that won 2 trebles back to back, and he's lying about hat.
he's lying.
It's crazy.
Romario said about going back to Brazil. didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for the
where you got the
carnival.
story from.
Romario wanted to go back for the carnival, and he
Yeah.
was allowed. That did happen, didn't it?
But
Or at least I believe
Eto'o
that.
said that he had a party in Paris with his friends, and maybe he did have a party in Paris, but he went at full time. And then the other 2 occasions was when him and Pep had beef, and he was saying that Pep brought him off the bench, and he scored 2 hat tricks in pre-season back to back, only scoring 2. So I don't know if he's lying or if he doesn't know what a hat trick is. But in French, he's saying he scored 3 goals, and we define it as a hat trick. So
Yeah, there was no
Samuel-
mistranslations because you speak French, so you know.
I know exactly what you're saying. And separately to that, Samuel Eto'o once claimed that him and some of the Barca boys destroyed a young player's Ferrari at Barca, but no one else has confirmed it. So it's
Right.
it's interesting stuff.
Okay, so we're pending. We're pending on that one.
Someone needs to ask Ronaldinho, Xavi, whoever.
Also, what academy player or youth player has
He
a
said it was a
Ferrari?
player that had only played 1 or 2 games, and they said he was getting a bit big time, so they like destroyed his car.
Okay, well, we'll look into that one. I saw your Lee Clark one.
This is my favourite one.
Yeah,
This
Lee
one's
Clark
crazy.
was so funny.
This one was funny.
Because the way Lee Clark tells it as well, it's like he's being humble but bragging like at the same time.
He's like Zidane wasn't bad, was he? Well, I need to tell them what it was first, actually. It's Lee Clark claiming to have played against Zidane in the Champions League. However, he's never played against Zidane or in the Champions League. So this is what I mean. I think
that's a stinker, though.
I didn't start this
That
series to
stinks.
find stuff like this,
That
but it's the
stinks.
stuff where like people are inserting themselves in places that they haven't been. And the worst part is
stinks.
the only club he's played for that's played in the Champions League is Newcastle, and they did qualify for the Champions League in 97, 98.
Yeah.
However, the only time they played against Juventus in the Champions League is in 2002, 2003, by which Lee Clark was at Fulham and Zidane was at Real Madrid. So
2 different timelines.
two
again.
different timelines. Like it's got to the point where people are they're tweeting me saying, I genuinely believe there's an alternate timeline or alternate reality that actually exists, and these people come over to tell stories. From
What's
them.
that thing called again? That you know when you think something happened?
Mandela effect.
But is it
It's
that?
not a Mandela effect. It's called a lie
lying.
growing
Yeah.
to becoming the
But
truth.
this one, you know, certain other things. I think you can go. It's misremembered or whatever. Lee Clark suggesting that he played against Zidane in the Champions League when he's never played against Zidane or in the Champions League can only be a lie.
crazy.
Like it can
What I
only
like
be a
about
lie.
your videos, you try and guess for them why they might have made that
Yeah.
mistake. What was that one about? Is there
No,
is
you
there
just lie.
Euros he's forgotten?
This one
No, there was a
can't
game
be.
where
Is it the
him and Zidane,
Eto'o?
England, France, like under because I think you showed
Yeah, it
that
was
as well,
like
where they were both in the
21s or
squad, but they
under-
never crossed paths again.
Yeah, they never played. I think he didn't play that game. Zidane played.
Like
but it's
10
more
minutes.
so, I think it's easy for you to slot that in. And if you're at dinner or you're on a
Yeah, you
podcast,
believe
well,
it.
who's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
say, well, what game was that then?
But also, you just
Yeah,
believe.
that's
You just
true.
believe, don't you? If I was talking to a footballer who played for Newcastle and he went, "I played against Zidane," I'm going to go, "Well, you know better than me, don't you?"
Also, our
Like-
brains go. If Lee Clark was here telling that story, we go. He was at Newcastle.
Yeah,
at a similar
Newcastle.
time. Maybe that's true.
Yeah, and
like,
also
maybe
you know that Newcastle were in it because everybody can remember Faustino Asprilla scoring a hat trick
hat-trick,
against
yeah.
Barca. So you kind of go, "Okay, that makes sense."
Yeah, and you can't dispute it in the moment. It's more like when you're on your way home, you go, That doesn't
You
sound
start,
right.
you start
sound
doing the
right.
team in your
Yeah,
head. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he wasn't there.
You get quite defensive about Arsene Wenger.
To preface it, there is a HMRC rule. There is, and I've coined it. There's now going to be 2 HMRC rules, but I'll only give the first one. If you hear Arsene Wenger's name in a story, assume it's not 100%. Don't doubt it. Assume it's not 100% and
Why?
do your own research. Because everyone lies about Wenger.
Do they?
Harry Redknapp lied about Wenger. Tony Pulis lied about Wenger. Charlie Austin embellished about Wenger because he said he scored more goals against Arsenal than he did. But in this particular case, Tony Pulis said that he spoke to Vieira, and Vieira told him a story about how when he was at Arsenal in 2010, you see how that doesn't make sense already.
yeah.
He's way gone.
Vieira's gone in 05.
Stoke played Arsenal, and Arsene Wenger was so worried about Rory Delap's throw that he worked on it every day in training because, you know, they had a bit of beef. When it got to match day, Tony Pulis says that Rory Delap didn't play and he still beat Arsenal 3-1. Now, if you go and look at the match report of that game, Rory Delap gets an assist within 2 minutes of the game via a long throw. So he's trying to say that he got Wenger so rattled about a throw that never happened and beat him 3-1, when really and truly the story of beating Wenger is good enough, especially
Yeah.
as
Just
much
say
of a
that.
legend he is. So that's what kind of started the whole thing about Wenger's stories not
Is that
being
the Harry
true.
Redknapp one? It was like he was managing against was it George Graham?
No, it was
I know
Pat
the
Rice.
story.
Pat Rice was
Pat
interim
Rice was
until,
here until Wenger got there.
but he said
And
that
he made up the accent and shit. Like he came into he came into the dressing room and was like, "Hey, Harry!" Like it's like, "Wait, what are you doing? This never happened."
This time it's Pat. You're right, Harry.
he wasn't there. Pat Rice is,
That's so
you know what I
funny.
mean?
And what's the number
Right,
one?
Harry?
This involves Lee Sharp.
Yeah, Lee Sharp. Lee Sharp once claimed to have played against Cafu for AC Milan whilst at Leeds. There's one problem with this. He was at Leeds between 96 and 99. Leeds played in the Champions League, I believe, in 1992 and didn't play again in the Champions League until 2001.
Yeah.
By which
He missed.
by which time Lee Clark was not at
Lee Sharp,
Leeds.
at Bradford.
Lee Sharp wasn't at Leeds. Even worse, if this was between 96 and 99, Cafu was still at Roma. So he only went to Milan in 2003. By then, Lee Sharp was playing in Iceland. Furthermore,
Two different
there
countries.
was... See, this is the funny thing. While he was at Leeds, they played Roma in the UEFA Cup. True. Did they cross paths? Absolutely not. So it's that one I can kind of get a little bit of, give a bit of leeway to. But to me, it's still inserting yourself in places that you weren't, or putting characters that were there. It's like me saying, I don't know, like I went on the club and Messi was a guest that day.
Yeah.
But saying it 5
never
years
happened.
later and assuming no one's going to go back
Yeah.
to check that episode. Like someone
They're crazy.
will.
They're crazy story. Can I request one? Bobby Zamora claims that Capello in 2010 wanted him for the World Cup, and he said, "I'm not doing it. I want to do my pre-season for Fulham."
He's fact checked it. Well, you kind of tweeted about that one.
I
haven't
think so. My issue is with stories that are behind the scenes is it's hard to
You can't, yeah.
it's hard to fact check
It needs to be on a pod or something. Yeah.
So like because
You need Capello first.
You need
Did
Capello.
Capello? I think Zamora was in good form because Emil Heskey was in the tournament.
Yeah,
so
It's amazing.
I've said that's what I
Mate.
said. Maybe he could have got in, but I don't know if he turned down a World Cup call
No,
up
of course not.
for
your Achilles.
surgery.
Yeah.
But then again, Umtiti didn't do that. And now he's retired. So
that's a good shot,
Mate,
actually.
mate, keep up the good work anyway, Karel,
Yeah,
man. It's
amazing,
brilliant. And
man.
if you want to
Really
find
good
out more of what we're talking about here, it's Karel Prince _ on all social media apart from TikTok,
Yeah,
where it's
pretty
just
much.
Karel
Yeah.
Prince.